Hello everybody. Today we are going to talk about what our cosmic address is. So for just a few minutes I want you to imagine that there is an alien far deep in space who wants to mail you a letter, and I want you to think about all the different things that would need to go in your address. Our 6th grade standard that we are trying to master is that you should be able to develop a model to represent the position of our solar system within the Milky Way Galaxy and in the universe as we know it at this point. So later on you will be building a model of our Milky Way Galaxy, and this activity should help you a lot with that. Your task today is to listen to this video and write down your cosmic address on paper. So we'll be adding to this as we go along. So go ahead and grab a piece of paper and you can put your address on it. I'm going to be showing you our school address, but if you want to go ahead and start with your address, that would be great. So how do we get from Autry Middle School out to where we are in the middle of the Milky Way? So anytime that you want to tell someone where you live, you give them your address. So usually a street number, a city, and a state. And that address communicates where your location is on the planet. Our starting address for Autry Middle School is 3601 Nolan Road, Kennesaw, Georgia, 30144. Now you are welcome to write down this address, or if you know your own personal address, go ahead and write that down now on your paper. As we zoom out a little bit from Autry Middle School, we can start to see lots of surrounding cities. Here's Marietta, down here it's Atlanta. So our address tells us specifically where we are on the map. If we zoom out even further, here you can see the United States, and here we are at Autry Middle School. So in our cosmic address, underneath our city and state, we would now write United States. If someone is mailing you something from another country, you have to have the country code on your envelope. We're not used to that because we usually only send things to people that are in our country. But if you've ever sent anything to someone in another country, you have to have the country code. Our United States, from the East Coast to the West Coast, is about 2,680 miles wide. So I want you to keep that in mind as we keep zooming out. Down here, we not only see the United States, but we see our continent. And we live on the continent of North America. So let's go ahead and add that to our cosmic address. So we started in Kennesaw, Georgia, in the United States, on the continent of North America. Zooming out even further, we see a view looking at Earth. And Earth is almost 8,000 miles across from side to side. So we would be located right about here. We can see North America through the clouds there. And here's an even further look at Earth. This is our moon that orbits Earth. And our moon is slightly more than 2,000 miles wide, and it's about 239,000 miles away from Earth. And if you could get in a car on a highway and drive to the moon, it would take you more than 5 months to get there. So, to add to our address, we started in Kennesaw, in the country of United States, on the continent of North America, and we live on planet Earth. So you're going to write planet Earth in your address. Here's a view of our sun, And our sun is 93 million miles away from our Earth. It is a star, and that's what's at the center of our solar system. Our sun is almost 900,000 miles wide. So remember that Earth, which is here, drawn to scale, this little dot is 8,000 miles wide. So look how tiny Earth is compared to the sun. And if we could fit our Earth into the sun, it would take more than 1 million Earths that could fit inside the sun. So this makes me think of the Disney song called "It's a Small World After All." It seems really big to us, but it is very small in comparison with things in our solar system and our galaxy. So zooming out even more, we can start to see more of our solar system. It's slightly more than 6 billion miles across. Our solar system contains all the planets, their moons, and other objects, such as comets and asteroids that we'll learn about soon. And we all orbit the sun, which is in the center. So if we were to take a car, and I'm talking about cars because I think that's something that you have comprehension of. If we started from Earth, which it would be right about here, we're the third planet from the sun, and if we traveled out to Pluto, it would take us about 6,849 years to get there. But keep in mind, Pluto is not even at the edge of our solar system. We'd have to go much farther, and it would take many, many more years to get to the edge of our solar system. So in our cosmic address, we started in Kennesaw, Georgia. We're in the United States, North America. We're on planet Earth, and we are part of what we call our solar system. So right here, I want you to write solar, here, system on your notebook paper. Beyond our solar system, we have our closest star, and our closest star system is called Alpha Centauri. And that is made up of 3 stars, which is called Alpha Centauri A and B, and Proxima Centauri. So if we talked about trying to get there in a car, the number would just be way too big. So car travel is kind of out of the question. And these stars are so far away that it would take 165,000 years for us to get there in the fastest rocket that we currently have. Obviously no spacecraft have been there because we haven't had rockets for that long, but just know that they're very, very far away. If we zoom out even farther, here you can see our galaxy called the Milky Way. And if you look in this box, that kind of looks like a whole bunch of stars and stardust, but if we blow it up, here you can see our sun and the Alpha Centauri star system are just a handful of stars that are within our galaxy. The space all around and beyond our solar system is full of billions of stars. And as a group, they form what we call the Milky Way, and it orbits around the center of the Milky Way. Look at how many stars there are in that one small area in the Milky Way in this image. From far away, it appears to be full of only space dust and gas, but up close, it looks much different. If we could see our galaxy, our Milky Way galaxy, from a distance, it would look similar to this image. And from that far away, you would not see all the stars, the planets, the moons, the comets, the asteroids, all the other things, the dust and the gas. Most people think that this is where our sun is, but no, that is the center of the Milky Way. Our sun, which we think is so huge, is located right here. It's very tiny. Our solar system lies about halfway out from the center of the Milky Way Galaxy, and it's on what's called the Orion Belt. All of these different spirals have different names, and we are part of the Orion Belt. So it's capital O-R-I-O-N, Belt. So in our cosmic address, we're in Kennesaw, the United States, North America, planet Earth, solar system. Now we're adding Orion Belt. Okay. Here is another artist rendering of what they think our Milky Way galaxy might look like. We do know that it is a spiral galaxy, but keep in mind there has been nothing that could go far enough to take actual pictures. So these are all computer animated models, but we would be right about here. So we are going to add at the bottom of our cosmic address, Milky Way Galaxy. Make sure you capitalize all of that. Milky Way Galaxy. Our Milky Way sits in the middle of a large group of galaxies, which we call the local group, and that's about 10 million light years wide, and we are on the edge of a bigger collection of galaxy clumps called the local or Virgo supercluster, which you can see right here. So keep in mind those are billions and billions of stars, lots of galaxies all held together in this cluster. And you may be asking, what holds that together? Gravity has a huge part in all of the things that go on, and we're going to explore that later on as we get deeper into this subject. But for now, add to your cosmic address that we are part of the Virgo supercluster. That's going to be the next item on your cosmic address. So in 2014, an astronomer named Brent Tully from the University of Hawaii discovered that our Milky Way, which is part of our Virgo supercluster, was actually part of an even larger supercluster called Laniakea. And he said that it's kind of like finding out that the galaxy that we call our home is kind of like finding out that your hometown is part of a much larger country that borders other nations. So what that means is that our Virgo supercluster is part of an even bigger supercluster called Laniakea, and right in this area there's something called the Great Attractor, and so everything that you see is kind of like flowing inward, like water would flow down a river. We're not sure why it's attracted here. It has to do with gravity, but anything that's within reach of this is going to be attracted here to the center, and all of these other things out here are attracted to other superclusters. So even though we're part of this huge Laniakea supercluster, there are hundreds of thousands of billions of more superclusters. So we are really living in a small world when you think of the vastness of our solar system and our galaxy and these superclusters that all make up our universe. So our last thing for our cosmic address will be, we're going to write Laniakea, and then I've got question marks here because, you know, who knows what will be discovered soon, that we're part of even something even larger than Laniakea. Maybe you will be someone that finds that out in the future.